a boy and his loyal dog. It was a quiet morning in a small village. A boy named Liam was walking to school. The air was cool and the streets were empty. Liam liked mornings like this. He felt calm as he walked along the dirt path. Suddenly, he heard a soft sound coming from the bushes. It was a whimper, like a small cry for help. Liam stopped and looked around. He saw something moving in the grass. It was a small dog, shaking and scared. Its fur was dirty and its ribs were showing. Liam's heart sank. He crouched down and said softly, "Hey, little guy, are you okay?" The dog looked up at him with big brown eyes. It didn't bark or run away, it just stared, as if it was asking for help. Liam opened his school bag and found his lunch. He took out a sandwich and broke it in half. "Here, you can have this," he said, holding out a piece. The dog sniffed the bread and then ate it quickly. Liam smiled and said, "You must be hungry." He reached out his hand and the dog hesitated before stepping closer. Liam gently patted its head. After school, Liam couldn't stop thinking about the dog. As soon as the bell rang, he ran back to the spot where he had seen it. To his surprise, the dog was still there, waiting for him. Its tail wagged when it saw Liam. "You waited for me?" Liam asked, smiling. "Come on, let's go home." Liam walked home with the dog, following close behind. When they reached his house, he sneaked the dog inside. He filled a bowl with water and gave it some leftover food. Then he found an old towel and gave the dog a bath. The dirt washed away, revealing golden fur underneath. The dog wagged its tail happily. Liam decided to name him Max. That night, Max curled up on the floor beside Liam's bed. Liam looked down at him and whispered, "Don't worry, Max. I'll take care of you now. You're safe with me." The next morning, Liam woke up to find Max sitting by his bed, wagging his tail. "Good morning, Max," Liam said, rubbing the dog's head. Max barked softly, as if saying hello. Liam got dressed quickly and grabbed a piece of bread for himself and another for Max. "Let's go, boy," he said, opening the door. As they walked to school, Max stayed close to Liam's side. The villagers looked at them curiously. "Where did you find that dog?" an old man asked. "He was alone," Liam replied. "I'm taking care of him now." The old man nodded and smiled. "You're a kind boy," he said. When Liam reached the school gates, he told Max to wait outside. "I'll be back soon," Liam said. Max sat down and watched as Liam walked inside. During class, Liam couldn't stop thinking about Max. He wondered if the dog was still waiting for him. When school ended, Liam ran to the gate. Max was still there, his tail wagging wildly when he saw Liam. "Good boy, Max," Liam said, hugging him. They walked home together, and Liam felt happier than ever. Max wasn't just a dog, he was a friend. Over the next few weeks, Liam and Max became inseparable. They played in the fields, ran by the river, and shared every meal. Liam taught Max simple tricks like sitting and fetching sticks. Max was smart and learned quickly. The bond between them grew stronger each day. One evening, as they sat by the river, Liam looked at Max and said, "I don't know what I'd do without you, Max. You're my best friend." Max wagged his tail and licked Liam's hand as if he understood every word. One day, as Liam and Max were playing in the field, dark clouds filled the sky. A storm was coming. Liam looked up and said, "We should go home, Max." But before they could leave, they heard a loud cry. It was coming from the woods nearby. Liam ran toward the sound with Max close behind him. Deep in the woods, they found a little girl. She was sitting on the ground, holding her ankle. "Are you okay?" Liam asked. The girl shook her head. "I fell, and my leg hurts. I can't walk," she said, tears in her eyes. Liam knelt beside her. "Don't worry. We'll help you," he said. He turned to Max. "Go back to the village and bring someone," he told the dog. Max barked and ran off as fast as he could. Liam stayed with the girl, talking to her to keep her calm. The storm grew louder. Thunder roared and rain began to fall. Liam held his jacket over the girl to keep her dry. "Max will come back soon," he said, though he was also scared. He trusted Max, but the woods were dark and the storm was strong. After what felt like forever, Liam heard voices. "Over here!" he shouted. Max appeared first, followed by 2 men from the village. "You found us," Liam said, hugging Max. The men helped the girl up and carried her back to the village. Liam and Max followed them, tired but relieved. That night, Liam sat by the fire with Max at his feet. He stroked the dog's fur and said, "You're a hero, Max. You saved her." Max wagged his tail and rested his head on Liam's lap. For Liam, Max wasn't just his best friend, he was his family. The next few days were peaceful. The storm had passed and the sun was shining again. Liam and Max spent their time playing in the fields, exploring the woods, and enjoying each other's company. They were inseparable. One afternoon, Liam went to the village market with his mother. As they walked through the busy street, Liam saw a group of children playing with their pets. He watched them for a while, feeling a little sad. He didn't have many friends his age. The other children were always too busy or didn't want to play with him. "Hey, Liam!" a voice called. Liam turned around and saw a boy from his class, Alex. Alex had a big smile on his face. "Do you want to come play with us?" he asked. Liam's eyes widened. "Really?" he asked. "Of course," Alex said. "You can bring Max too." Liam's heart filled with joy. He had never been invited to play before. "I'll go get Max," he said, running back to his house. Max was lying in the sun, resting. When he saw Liam, his tail started to wag. "We're going to play with the other kids," Liam said excitedly. Max followed Liam to the village square. The children were already waiting. They played a game of tag, with Max running beside Liam the whole time. Max was fast and smart. He even helped Liam tag some of the other children. Everyone laughed and cheered. For the first time in a long time, Liam felt happy. After playing, the children sat down to rest. Alex turned to Liam and said, "You're really lucky to have such a smart dog." Liam smiled. "I know. Max is the best friend I could ever have." The other kids agreed, and from that day on, Liam made new friends. Max wasn't just a dog. He was Liam's best friend, and he had helped Liam find happiness in a way no one else could. They were a team, and together, there was nothing they couldn't do. As the weeks passed, Liam and Max became even closer. They spent every day together, exploring new places, playing games, and looking out for each other. Max was more than just a pet to Liam. He was his protector and confidant. One day, Liam and Max were walking along the edge of the forest when they heard a strange noise. Max's ears perked up, and he started to growl softly. Liam stopped and listened closely. The sound was coming from a small, dark cave nearby. Liam felt a bit scared, but Max wasn't afraid. He walked straight toward the cave, his tail wagging. "Max, wait!" Liam called out, but Max ignored him and entered the cave. Liam stood still, his heart racing. "Max, come back!" he called, but there was no answer. He took a deep breath and decided to follow his dog. He slowly walked into the cave, holding onto a flashlight. Inside, the cave was cold and damp. Liam could hear Max barking in the distance. He followed the sound and soon found Max standing next to a small, injured animal. It was a baby deer, its leg caught in a trap. Liam gasped. "Max, what did you find?" he whispered. Max nudged the deer gently as if trying to comfort it. Liam knew he had to help. He carefully approached the deer and carefully freed its leg from the trap. The deer was hurt, but it didn't run away. It looked at Liam with trusting eyes. Liam smiled and said, "You're safe now, don't worry." Max wagged his tail, as if proud of what they had done. Together, they helped the little deer out of the cave and into the sunlight. When they returned to the village, Liam told everyone about the baby deer. People were amazed at how brave and kind Liam and Max had been. Liam felt proud of his dog and himself. Max had always been there for him, and now they had saved a life together. From that day on, Liam knew that no matter what happened, he and Max would always be a team. They would face challenges together, and no matter how tough life got, they would never give up on each other. As the years went by, Liam grew older, and so did Max. But no matter how much time passed, their bond never weakened. They continued to be best friends, always looking out for each other. Max was no longer a puppy, but in Liam's eyes he would always be the brave dog who had saved him from the lonely days of his childhood. One evening, as Liam sat in his backyard with Max by his side, he thought about all the adventures they had shared. From the first day they met, when Max had saved him from being scared of the dark, to the time they had helped the baby deer. Every moment had been special, and he knew that Max had been there for him through everything. Liam had grown into a kind and caring young man, thanks in part to the lessons Max had taught him about loyalty, bravery, and love. He smiled as he looked down at his old friend. Max's fur had turned grey, but his eyes still sparkled with the same energy they had when they first met. "Thanks for everything, buddy," Liam whispered, petting Max gently. Max looked up at him, his tail wagging slowly. He might have been old, but he still had a lot of love to give. As the sun began to set, Liam stood up and said, "Let's go for one more walk, Max." The two of them walked side by side down the familiar path through the woods, their steps in perfect harmony. Even though they both knew that time was moving on, Liam was certain that Max would always be with him in spirit. The memories they shared would last forever. Max had been his best friend, and no one could ever take that away. They walked into the sunset side by side, as they had done so many times before, and Liam knew that no matter where life took him, he would always carry the lessons of friendship, loyalty, and love that Max had taught him. This is the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.